Welcome to the Agent Carter After Show. I am Becca Scott, and with me are my fellow co-hosts. We have Germar Derron on my left, and to my right we have Kyle Wallen. And this is a live show, so make sure you tweet us right now. Tune in every week live, tell your friends, and it'll be one big party. So let's get to the episode. That episode this week was amazing.
My favorite so far, easily and by far.
Germar's favorite so far. A lot of interesting things happened that we'll get to in time. But my first topic that I want to start with is Sousa seems to be hot on Peggy's trail this episode.
Yes.
He was all into doing his own detective work. He got the prints off the payphone, and now he has this new information that there was a dark-haired woman on the ship. So do we think that Sousa is going to find out about Peggy before the rest of SSR? And do we think that Sousa's going to be on her side, or is he gonna rat her out?
I think he's clearly going to find out ahead of time. They're building him up as, like, you know, he's our favorite SSR agent. I think he's definitely going to find out. And then it'll just be a question of where do his loyalties lie. That's going to be a very cool scene when that happens, because he's going to have loyalties to America. You know, he's an SSR agent.
America.
Oh, that's fair.
But does he trust? But does he seems to really appreciate Peggy a lot, so it'll be very
Appreciate is
interesting.
one word for it. Sure.
I have another word for it.
He's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. He
Okay,
appreciates her.
Yeah, not only does he have that loyalty to America through the SSR, but he's also like former military. So you're right. He's probably a strong patriot, and what is he going to do? For sure, he's going to get there before the rest of the crew because he has a clue. That's his thing. He's the smart guy. He's putting stuff together. He does real detective work. He's out there in the field. So he's going to figure it out. I think he might be conflicted. He's going to wonder, like, has she been duping me? Am I stupid? But I think he really does have this strong care and love and respect for her. So in the end, he's going to probably be her, like, right hand.
You know, something interesting, though, he is a good detective, but we showed today on the episode that he's not that great. He interviewed that guy for how long, and Thompson walked in, and within like 2 minutes, he got the guy to confess.
Well,
so
I liked what Thompson said, which is not everybody wanted to cry when they came back from the war. And it was interesting to me, them talking about how different people react to war differently, and how Sousa has kind of become softer. He's become more
sensitive,
in touch with himself because of his injury, probably. He understands. He empathizes with people more, probably, because he has to suffer and he has to feel guilt, or other people's guilt, when they see him. So that probably affects a lot of his worldview, and he assumes other people see that way. But of course, Thompson's just an asshole, so he knows you give a guy booze and a hamburger, he's going to be happy all day.
Missed this.
Not
guy
even the
was
hamburger.
Starving.
He didn't even want the food. He went straight for the booze.
That was my favorite scene of the episode tonight, though, I think, because it actually gave more of a personality to Thompson, which was cool, because he's not just an asshole, he's an asshole who's really good at his job.
Exactly.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
That's why he's in
I was
charge.
like, why is Thompson, shitting on Sousa for doing actual detective work? What's he doing? He's just sitting around. He's saying he's going to push everybody harder, but yet when Sousa goes to get the prints, he snubs him. But in the end, it shows Thompson really does know what he's doing.
exactly.
He knows a thing or two. Yeah. All right, so big topic. So our chief goes all the way to Germany to interview Mueller, quote unquote, in the prison. And we find out that it wasn't the Nazis that massacred all these Russians at this Battle of Finau.
Right.
Who massacred hundreds of people and tore them into bits before the Nazis even got there?
He's on the edge of his seat. Look at that.
Aliens. Maybe?
That's
no?
it?
That's my answer.
I think that's entirely possible.
That's very possible.
They've
isn't it?
introduced a supernatural aspect, which we'll get to, or maybe it wasn't even supernatural, but, well, I don't want to spoil anything until we get to that topic, but that's entirely possible. I mean, what is a greater evil than the Nazis? Maybe something otherworldly.
Well, yeah, and we get a piece of that in Captain America, right? So we already know that, like, aliens exist, alien technology. This is all a part of the Marvel Universe. We've seen what they do in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we see what they do in all the movies, so we know that there's aliens, maybe magic, maybe all kind of weird things that haven't really been introduced into this show, but we know that it's out there. So I'm thinking that too, because the guys come back with these, these two bodies later on, whether they took their identities or whether this is someone in their body or shapeshift or whatever it is, I'm open to all possibilities. And the fact that they slaughtered hundreds and kind of were undetected, this has to be something futuristic, something alien, something bigger than what we have.
Ooh, okay. So the guys that were killed, the one that had no voice boxes and had the scar on their neck, whatever it was that was at this place and killed these people is what did that to them. So yeah, it could be aliens, or it could be like a Hydra-like force. Leviathan could have done it, but maybe they were found by
Well, I
Leviathan.
also think, I remember during that scene, the guy that draws, in the sand, draws that heart symbol.
Broken heart.
Right.
Is that what it is?
He was like, I mean, part of it because he can't talk, but he's really weird. So,
I found him very attractive.
He's
Interesting.
Maybe it was the voice.
Yeah.
we kind of briefly
Yeah.
talked about the possibility of there being like a pod people type situation where
Right.
the aliens have inhabited people.
I know who it was. I'm gonna go ahead and spoiler alert. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna look right into the camera. It was Howard Stark. I'm like the SSR now. It's all Howard Stark.
That's
No,
true.
I'm
Later in the
joking, I'm joking.
episode, they found out that Howard Stark's plane landed shortly after. So maybe Stark knows who did it. Probably not him, since he didn't get there till later. But maybe he knows something.
He always knows something.
He always knows something. Okay, so the big discovery was the Blitzkrieg button, which is not really a button. It is a ball containing a vial of Steve Rogers' blood. And furthermore, Stark freaking lied to Peggy about it. He lied to her after she's sacrificed so much to protect him. So the real question is, what's going to happen with the blood? Do you think it'll be stolen from Peggy's room behind the painting?
I'm excited about this. I knew it was going to be his blood. I mean, you guys saw me. I was jumping up and down. Oh, well, I mean, it's a common Marvel thing. Like in Marvel, the hunt for the super soldier formula and trying to have it and keep it and figure it out and use it and produce more super soldiers and make all kind of things. That's just like this common thing. I mean, I didn't know until she opened it and the vial came out. When the vial came out, I was like, I know what that's going to be.
You get pretty excited.
Yeah, I got very excited. So, yeah, this is going to matter. It always matters. Whether there's people trying to create another Captain America, people trying to steal it. The bad guys always want to do it because they want to create, like, bad guy super soldiers or try to create some other kind of serum based on it. So Howard Stark is talking all this, like, altruistic, cool things they could do. No, this blood is never used in that way.
Peggy called him out on that.
Nobody's
going
to cure the common cold. That's not happening.
Not without a price.
No, they're trying to
Not
make an
without a price
army is what they're going to do with that blood. But anyway.
Well, maybe not Stark specifically.
Yeah,
He's not
right.
into killing people. He's just into making money, and people might die in the process.
Weapons.
Follow-up question. There are 11 more vials that the government had that supposedly they're running out of, but the government has 11 more vials of Steve Rogers' blood? What's going to happen with that? Anyway, that wasn't really a topic. Was Peggy right to not trust Stark? How do we feel about Peggy's instincts to not be trusting of these people she's risking everything to help?
I mean, you can't fault her because this isn't just, he didn't just lie to her. He lied to her and she was walking around with a vial of Steve Rogers' blood. Like, that hits really, really exactly close to home for her. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Well, it's not like she can make a new boyfriend with it. I don't know.
Or can she?
Or if there's a guy that could, it's that mustache right there. He could do it.
Interesting.
That's not where I was going with that. But I think she's that's a really hard spot to, because I mean, I don't know. On the outside, we want to trust Howard Stark because, we all see in the future, Tony Stark, we love the Starks, but I would do the same thing if I was Peggy. I'd totally punch him. I mean, yeah.
I have a totally different thought process about trust, and this is what I think Peggy should be thinking or should be doing, especially in her position as an agent, and she seems to be like a super agent anyway. For me, trust isn't about like, I don't know, loyalty and you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, but it's about being predictable. Like, at this point, she should know who Howard Stark is, just like we know who Tony Stark is. Like, you should know the kind of things that they're gonna lie about and the secrets that they're gonna have. And that's just a part of the job. You don't have to like it, but like, I would just expect her to get it at this point. Like, Of course you lied to me, which I guess you kind of get. Like,
you know what I did like about that was Howard Stark had this incredible speech about this is how I was brought up. This is how I've been trained to be by the world. The world has conditioned me to be this way. So it's like, oh, well, he can lie then. Okay, we get it.
I
That's
totally
fine.
agreed. If you notice, he's correct. That is right. That's what it takes.
But at the same time, Howard Stark would totally have a brilliant speech to get his way out of a situation like that. Like, that's totally a Stark move to be like, oh crap, how do I weasel my way out of this?
He did it earlier.
My parents were so...
All right.
I don't want the government to get this blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we have more topics to get to, but right now we're going to go to a short commercial break. And remember to tweet us, tell your friends about us, and hop in that chat room because we want to see you. And make sure you ask us lots of questions. All right, we'll see you in a sec.
just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
This is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy, it was hot, it was heated, I was into it. You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell them, go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on theStream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
And welcome back to Agent Carter After Show on theStreamtv. I am Becca Scott. Here's Germar Derron and Kyle Wallen. You already knew that. All right, so let's go to some fan questions, guys. This one is from @BamSmackPow. Who in the world is that woman in Peggy's building? Obviously, that's referring to
The lady at the desk
the lady,
who wrote the number down?
The lady at the desk, exactly. That's a woman that works at the front desk, to answer your question. Next question. We're probably talking about the woman in 3F, Dottie, as we recall from the earlier episode where we were introduced to her. And she happens to be a badass with some really powerful thighs, right?
So
Yeah.
do we think that she is, like, working with Stark or someone to protect Peggy, or is she there to keep an eye on Peggy and maybe, like, take her out if she needs to?
I'm going to vote that she is there to protect Peggy. Somebody hired her to be the badass that makes sure Peggy comes out okay. I don't know why, I don't know who would want to do that, but that's what I'm going to go with, because she's nearby Peggy, but she's not hurting Peggy. She's hurting people that might hurt Peggy.
Exactly.
See, I see your point, but I think it's the other way around, just because she kind of comes off like a sociopath. Like, I didn't feel like she was, like, trying to, like, manipulate him to, oh, come over here, don't hurt Peggy. Because that's what women sound like when they talk, apparently.
Okay.
She was
Again, with the women comments.
She just got
every
Slow
week.
down.
I called myself out on it. All right, come on. She got struck by the gun. The look in her eyes when she looked at the gun was very, like, entranced by the gun. Like, she's a very
that
violent
childlike
person.
thing of, you have a toy, I want that toy, I'd kill for that toy.
Yeah, and she's
That's the
stashing
kind
the
of-
dead
kind of
body
thing.
under
That
her
was so
bed.
scary.
That's pretty.
I don't see that.
Sorry.
I
Something that's
actually think
natural.
kind of an average of what the two of you said. I do think she's there to protect her. I don't know who or why or anything. And that's also another one of those common Marvel things. Didn't they do that in one of the Captain America movies? Like there was an agent right across the hall from him or next door or something. Was it the Winter Soldier and he didn't know it?
Yeah.
But they do that a lot in Marvel where if there's a shield, there's somebody there to help, somebody watching you. I don't know who
It
this
was the
woman
hot
is.
lady in-
I almost feel like she is fanatical crazy. Like this might be her own personal thing. Like she might not be working for Howard Stark or the Russians or Germans or anybody, but like she might be a little cuckoo.
Well, something people speculate about online, and is probably true based on the fact that we know that she's a killer now, she could have been the one that shot the two people in the car last week.
Yeah, I'm assuming
two
she
weeks
is.
ago.
Yeah, I like
yeah.
that theory a lot.
So in that case, I don't think it would be random killings. I think she would know that Peggy's up to something, or someone's up to something and has some intel. So that would lead to her not being random. Also, the fact of it being a show and everything ties together in a neat little bow. All right, let's do another fan question. This one is from Yehoshua Solomon. Sorry if I said that incorrectly. How about that brilliant Stan Lee cameo on tonight's Agent Carter episode?
How about it?
I mean, we knew it was going to happen at some point. It's a Marvel MCU show, so obviously Stan's going to find a way to get in there. I love that Marvel Agent Carter TV posted a picture of this and
Right.
said, who's
Who's
behind the third
Yeah.
newspaper?
And I kind of guessed it was going to be him, but I
Did
still
you?
loved it. Yeah.
no idea.
I said, yeah. Because he does that, and you expect it. You expect it in every movie. I really like that he pops up in all the animated stuff, because he pops up in everything, and it's really cool. It's really cute. It was a nice cameo. I was excited. I think we were all excited.
Do you have the sports section?
Do we have time for another question? There's a really good question.
We have our feed live. Let's hear this question.
BMP123. I'm really excited about this one. Says, does anyone else think that the person that killed all of the people? I'm assuming we talk about in Russia. Was Bucky?
That was good.
Yeah, we're in
Winter
Russia.
Soldier.
Why
That
did we
was
not
his
think of
first
that? Why are we
mission.
so stupid?
I was just like, man, I hope
Slice
Winter
it and
Soldier
dice
shows
it.
up at some
Was
point.
it BNP 123?
BNP 123. That
Brilliant.
sounds like a throwaway account,
Brilliant.
but good
You know,
job.
I don't know if
We're
it is. I don't know what I
dumbos.
think.
You should be doing this
I
show.
hope it is, because
Yeah.
I told you I'm a huge Winter Soldier fan. I love
Yeah.
him. I prefer him to Captain America. That would be great if that's how he makes his debut, is by slaughtering 100
Well, this means we're
Russians.
gonna meet him, right? We have to follow up on this
Yeah.
storyline. We're gonna see Bucky in this
really,
show.
really
It's
hope
gotta
that's it.
happen.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well, bring it down a notch from that super exciting question. We've got one more from our friends at Geek 360 Show, another show here on the Stream TV. And they asked, what time period accurate Marvel characters would you most like to see on Agent Carter TV? Bucky!
Bucky! That's gonna
Yeah.
be my answer. I want to see the Winter Soldier.
That's a
all
good one.
right.
That was a
Well,
really good
who
one.
do you want to see?
All right, so someone asked this question before, a similar question, like on our first episode, and at the time I couldn't come up with anyone. I said, Baron Zemo? Go look at that, like the first episode. I said that. I was trying to think of some other Baron, and I think it is Baron von Strucker. I know it is, and I would like to see Baron von Strucker because he led this group, the Blitzkrieg Squad, and this was the Blitzkrieg button show. And we had Colonel Mueller.
Mueller was a
and
part
he's
of
a member
Blitzkrieg
of that
Squad,
squad,
right?
and they fought the Howling Commandos. So if that whole thing came in, I would be into that a lot. That's where I want to be.
Ooh, well, you know, we're probably going to see Mueller again, too. That's a thing. Obviously, the captain let him out. Just let him go out of this prison.
Spoiler alert, I
which-
just set it off again. Everything I said just happens, I think.
So that's interesting. Do you have someone else aside from Bucky?
I mean, no, that was going to be my answer
Yeah.
to that question. I want to see him.
Gosh,
so,
I want to see Bucky. And
yeah, especially if he's like Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He's
and
cybernetic
also
arm.
shout out to Kevin. Kevin, who works here, wants to see Human Torch, which I think is an excellent. Oh, I thought you were saying that. Human Torch is an excellent villain, and that would be really fun to see. Because who doesn't like to see stuff on fire?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, that is it for our show tonight on Agent Carter After Show on theStream.tv. So make sure you follow us, add us on Twitter, on Facebook, on all the things, and all week. If you think of a question that you want us to answer next week for Agent Carter After Show, then tweet it to us, and hopefully we'll get to it. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, we will.
Bye.
Bye.